Hello,
Hi.
Maria Elena, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So sorry, I forgot about the class.
Don't worry, you're here. That's great. It's only 3 minutes late, so it's okay. So, is everything okay, Maria Elena?
Yeah, everything okay. I was cooking, so that was the reason.
That, that's
Okay.
great. So, look, this is going to be a little bit different. Instead of reading, this time I'm going to read something for you. Okay. You can do some things. For example, you can take some notes if you want, or you can write on the chat. The thing is the following. When I finish reading some of the paragraphs that we're going to, well, read about this article, you're going to tell me everything that you were able to understand, and you're going to try to paraphrase and to explain me everything in your own words. Okay?
Okay. Okay, teacher.
That's
Mm,
great. So are you ready? Are you going to take notes somewhere else? Do you have something open? Tell me when you're ready, and I'm going to start reading the article.
Okay, I'm going to use my notes. My
Okay,
okay.
that's great. So you're ready,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the title, the headline of this article. It says COVID travel, why Instagram is still full of celebrities on a holiday. All right, that's the headline. Now, these are the first two paragraphs. This is the first one. If you are a reality television fan who follows your favorite stars online, chances are that you have seen some of them jetting off to luxury destinations in recent weeks, despite rising infection rates and restrictions across the UK. With much of England first plunged into Tier 4 and now locked down, many seem to be wondering how all of these glamorous breaks have been able to go ahead at a time when millions are being told to stay at home. All right, so those are the two first paragraphs, and that was the headline. I don't know if you can tell me something that you were able to understand so far, please, Marielle.
Um, I don't know if I'm right, but it's about the holidays party
Okay,
and how celebrities and most people around the world how do you say this did some party, or how do you say when you want to for example, if it's my birthday and I want to do a party, how do you say that
ah,
action?
yeah, you can say celebrate,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
celebrate. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, it's about the celebrated that most people did in this situation. um for
Okay,
example, we're still in pandemic.
yeah, a pandemic, in a pandemic or
Pandemic,
a
yeah.
lockdown.
Yeah, in a pandemic, and most people forget about that and still doing celebrations. I don't know if I'm right.
Okay, okay. No, actually, you're on the right track. Okay, you are on the right track because yes,
Uh-huh.
it's related to famous, right, to
Uh-huh.
celebrities who are still traveling, and actually that's the thing here. More
Mhm.
than perhaps celebrating, perhaps but also it's related to that because they are on holidays, and
Yep.
perhaps they want to celebrate those holidays by traveling. And they are
Mhm.
saying that how is that possible when most of the people in the UK, because this is something related to the UK, right, United
Uh-huh.
Kingdom,
Yep.
they ask themselves, how is that possible when most of the people are told to stay at home and some people are still
Mhm.
traveling and they see the Instagram right of those celebrities and they are still going around the world as if everything were like normal. That's what they are asking to themselves. So I'm going to continue reading, and actually
Okay.
you're going to listen to some of the answers of some people that answer on some questions. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
good. So this is the question. So what is going on and what do the rules say? Before Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced strict new restrictions starting on 5th January, England was under a tier system across different regions. The reality is that some of the stars posting their travel on social media in recent weeks may have left the country for their winter breaks when their local area was still under tiers 2 or 3. when the advice about traveling was less strict. All right. So that is the answer of the Prime Minister, right, Boris Johnson. What were you able to understand in that part, Maria Elena?
Um, to tell you the truth, it was I can understand most of the part that you read. Can you read again? Read
Okay, yes,
again?
no, no problem. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Just in case, I'm going to do it. I'm going to read again. But look,
Okay.
I'm going to copy and paste some important words in
Mm-hmm.
the, let's say, in the chat.
Okay.
This is going to help you understand. So
Okay.
this is chat. All right. They say that they are talking about this, and they say that now they are in tier four.
Mm-hmm.
Tier is like a level. The higher the level, the more restrictions you have. Okay? For example, tier one, you don't have almost any restrictions. You can do almost whatever you want. For example, in Bolivia, we can say that we are in tier two or three, more or less, because we can
Mm-hmm.
travel, because we can do almost whatever we want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you are in tiers four, let's say, you have more restrictions. All right. Now the thing is that now in the UK they are in tier four, so they have a lot of restrictions. One of them is that they cannot travel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So relate that to the thing that I'm going to read again. So he says this. The reality is that some of the stars posting their travel on social media in recent weeks may have left the country for their winter breaks when their local area was still under tiers 2 or 3, when the advice about traveling was less strict. All right. So I don't know if you were able to understand a little bit more this time. If
Yes.
not,
Now,
we're
yes.
going to. Okay. Let me know. What were you able to understand, Maria?
Well, he said that it's like the people who posted about a trip. It was
Uh-huh.
like in winter when the tears it wasn't so hard than now. For example,
Uh-huh.
maybe when that people travel, they were in tier two,
Uh-huh.
where in that country they they can still traveling, but now they cannot. But the post is like how do you say this, old maybe is
Uh-huh.
it okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's correct. Okay, yes, that's perfect. And that's it. He is explaining that because people was worried, right? They say, look, we are following the rules, but it seems that celebrities that they are not following the rules. But that's not the case, right? The case is that they traveled when they were less restrictions. So they
Yeah.
could travel at that time. And the photos they took and everything is because they were able to travel before. It's not that they traveled now, because now
Hmm.
they cannot do that, right? That's the thing. Good. I'm going to read one more thing, and we're
Hmm.
going to try to analyze this to finish today's, let's say, conversation. This is the
Okay.
last thing. Some influencers and celebrities have been tagging brands and talent agencies in their posts, indicating their content shared abroad is sponsored and paid work, and traveling overseas was permitted for work reasons under Tier 4 when your job could not be done at home. What about that?
Um. Hmm.
If you want, I'm going to copy and paste this time the keywords there.
Okay.
It says that celebrities and influencers have been
Mhm.
doing this, tagging brands and talent
Yeah.
agencies in their posts, right? And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
continue reading.
Okay.
Indicating their content shared abroad is sponsored or paid work. And traveling, this is the important part, and traveling overseas was permitted for work reasons under Tier 4. Okay, under, again, under
On the tier four.
tier
Okay.
4. Exactly.
So in the tier four, they permit to travel. How do you say this? On the sea,
Yes, overseas, right?
oversea. Yeah, exactly. Oversea.
Exactly. That's correct. So why do you think they are explaining this? Because people are concerned, right? Again, they think that this is unfair. They say, I don't know, right? Most of us cannot travel. Why are those celebrities traveling now? But I think here's one of the reasons, right? Can you explain this in your own words?
Mm, well, I don't know if I'm right. I'm trying to understand, but so they said that there was some people who traveled, but in tier four, they some people can travel overseas,
Hmm.
and that people they are like influencer and they tagging brands and tagging their agency. I don't wait. Yeah, I'm remembering now. They travel overseas because they it is like a work,
Yeah, that's
like a
correct.
job. Yeah. Yes.
Exactly, exactly. That's the main thing there. It's not
Uh-huh.
that they are traveling because they are on vacation and so on.
Yeah.
And perhaps it's a
Exactly.
vacation, it's holiday, but they are working, right?
Yep.
Because that's their work. So they are
Hmm.
saying that in tier four, it is permitted to work and to travel overseas when
Hmm.
that's your job, right?
Yeah.
When that's your job. All right. And I think that's it. So look, these are important words for you to remember, right? Tier. You have from tier 1 to tier 4, let's say, are like levels. The higher the level, you're going to listen to this a lot on the news. The higher the level, the more restrictions you have. Okay, that's one thing. Tagging is something that, of course, you know what's to tag, right? You can tag brands, you can tag talent agencies in a post because you are sponsoring that or they are sponsoring you, right? Because it's a paid work. That's to tag. You can tag on Facebook, you can tag on Instagram, right? You can tag on your posts.
Hmm.
And overseas is when you travel abroad, right? To a place that is not near where you live,
Hmm.
right? That's the travel overseas. Great. Any final questions before finishing today's conversation, Maria Elena?
No, no.
Perfect.
It's great. Everything clear.
That's great, Maria Elena. So tomorrow we're going to continue with the class, all right, at the same time. Thanks for being here today. Have a great night.
Okay, teacher. Bye. You too. Have a
Bye
good
bye.
night. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Hello, Jose.
Hello, Jaime. How are you? Are you okay?
I'm good. What about you?
That's great. I'm fine, thanks. So, look, Jaime, this time the dynamic of the conversations are going to be kind of different. I'm going to be reading some paragraphs for you, and you're going to be trying to paraphrase those paragraphs and tell me everything you were able to understand. All right?
Okay.
Okay, that's perfect. And just in case, and by the way, the new way this is going to work, everything, even the classes and the conversations, are recorded not only in Zoom, but also on YouTube. All right, and all the
Oh,
links are going to be
just the classes, right? Like Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
kind of, they told me that everything is going to be recorded, but of course, the ones that are going to be accessible to everybody are going to be the classes.
Okay, excellent.
Exactly. And you can go to the channel, right? And the link of the channel is in the description of the WhatsApp group. So you can
Thanks.
go there, and everything is going to be uploaded there automatically. All right?
Thank you.
Okay, that's perfect. No, you're welcome. So let's begin. Look, I'm going to read an article as we did it before, but this time I'm not going to share my screen because we're going to be practicing listening and speaking. So look, this is the headline of this article. Why I'm feeling hopeful about environment in 2021. All right, that's the title of this headline. And I'm
Please,
going to read the first two paragraphs, and then you're going to tell me everything you understood. Let's begin.
could you repeat,
It says,
the
tell me,
title,
Henry,
please?
one more time the title? Okay. It
Yes.
says, why I'm feeling hopeful about the environment in 2021.
Okay, excellent.
All right, good. So let's begin. This is the first paragraph. This year, 2021, a number of things are coming together to help achieve a low carbon future. In 25 years of reporting the environment patch, I've never been so convinced that the world has the potential to change. Okay, that was the first paragraph. The second
Okay.
paragraph. It's about politics. Recent bolder climate commitments from the UK, the EU, coming American President Joe Biden, and even China. It's about business. For the first time ever, renewable energy investments will exceed that in fossil fuels. And it's about timing. A post-COVID recovery rare running up to the global COP26 climate summit in November. All right, so that was the second paragraph. Now, in general, we don't have to understand all those words and everything, but what can you tell me about the paragraphs that I read, Jaime?
It's just they're talking about the something hopeful, you know. It's very hard. Like I don't like to see the news at the last hand because every time that I'm watching the news, it's very hard because it's all about bad news and no hope for the humanity. A second year of pandemic. So this is a nice title to listen. You know.
Yes, yes, that's correct. But this time, this guy, right, is telling us something that I think it's going to be really positive because he's really feeling hopeful, right, about the environment in 2021. And I'm pasting this in the chat. And it's interesting because he mentioned something that is, I think, that it's going to have a really big impact in our lives. And it's this. Look, it says this. I'm going to read this part again. For the first time ever, renewable energy investments, right, will exceed that in fossil fuels. So I think that's really good news, right?
Mhm.
Because it's going to be a really big change. You know, fossil fuels are dominating the world right now. Everything is about that kind of energy. But having for the first time that renewable energy, right, is going to exceed in terms of investment, it means that people are starting to perhaps not only, let's say, people, right, regular people, if I can use that term, but also, let's say, people who own enterprises, companies, factories, they are starting to realize that perhaps the best investment that they can do is related to renewable energy. What comments do you have about this, Jaime? What do you think about renewable energy and about fossil fuels that are related to gas, gasoline, right, and so on?
I think renewable energy is the future. It's a new nueva era,
New era, you can say era or period, any of those.
new period for the humanity. You like there has to be a change. We see that if we don't respect the nature, if we don't respect the animals and all those things like the coronavirus could happen. And we need a new alternative if we want to live in this world or the planet Earth for a long time. So
Yes, that's correct.
renewable energy is gonna be the future. Like eolico,
Yes, yes, you can say eolic, eolic.
eolic power, um, eléctricas,
Yes, you
you know,
can say thermoelectric energy also.
the energy, waterfalls, and all these nature solar panels,
Yes,
and electric cars and all those things. They have to be the future because we want to have a clean world, a better world. We have to make this a normal thing. Like I hope for 2030 or 2030. Yes, 2030, we have a different world in that way. We don't
yes,
change.
yes, and I
And
think that would be good, right? To 2030 would be a great year because we're still, well, we are starting this new decade, right? 2021. And many people, as you were saying, right now everybody's kind of down because of the pandemic. We're still on that. We don't know how much this is going to last because even though we have a vaccine, not all vaccines are like effective, right? And you have the other types of viruses that are appearing. So there are many things that are negative, but people are still there, right? Fighting, and people are still doing things to make this perhaps a better world. Of course, there's like a long road that we need to cover yet, right? There are many things we need to do, but I think these kind of things are good things, positive things that can help us being hopeful, right? Because being hopeful and having and still have, let's say, this hope in humanity or in the future, and I think it's the best thing we can do if we want to continue, right? And this is the last question, perhaps related now to Bolivia. You know that Bolivia perhaps is not the first world country, right? But we have some other sources, let's say. How far do you think that Bolivia is from using renewable energy? Do you know some places that use this kind of energy in Bolivia?
I see that there's a couple of projects in Bolivia. And in Cochabamba, for example, I saw a project from electric cars. I think the name of the company is Quantum.
Okay.
Also, I see a new way of transport. The name is scooters. On a scooter. What is a scooter?
Okay, I think it's very similar to what they call here. I don't know if it's monopatin or something like that, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
The
Okay.
scooter, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I think those are electric, right?
Exactly. They're using this electric scooters. You can change it. You can charge it like your phone to the outlet. You can plug on the outlet.
That's great.
That's clean energy.
Yes.
I see a couple of words. Also, my university, I graduated from UPB, Universidad Boliviana, and
Yes.
they changed, for example, the parkway where you park your cars.
Yes.
They don't have the roof, like the normal roof, calamina. I don't know how to say that.
Yes.
You know,
You can call that a ceiling, or you can say, yes, it's one kind of ceiling. You can say ceiling that.
yeah, that ceiling roof. They change
Yeah.
it with solar. So all the parking lot, it's the roof of the part of the parking lot. There are solar panels that they alimentan. I don't know how
You
to say
can
it.
say, yes, you can use the same for animals or things. You can say that fit or that boosts,
It's
right?
the power
Boost.
of the building that is right next to the parking lot.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
enough.
Well, that's great. That's really great. And I mean, those are projects that I think some students work on, right?
And
Okay,
that's the
that's
you know, that's why it makes bigger United States. United States, they invest a lot in the university and in investigation at the university, and all the projects that after they realize, like they make, there those are ideas from the students that are making a PhD or a master degree, like a
yeah.
thesis project.
Yes, that's something that we don't do here. I mean, some private universities, as you were mentioning, perhaps UPV, and I've heard something about also Univalle. I'm not sure, but I think
Yes.
private universities are starting to following those steps, investing a lot in research, right? Also making some contests, making students do research about those things and having, I don't know, things that are new and that can help society in a certain way. And I think, yes, that's the best way you can do for your people, for your society, investing in those things. And what do you think, for example, you were talking about the UPV. Do you think that universities in Bolivia are supporting these new ideas from students? Is the UPV, do you think, the only one that is doing that? Or have you heard about other universities perhaps supporting these ideas?
I saw a couple of them that are helping, but I haven't seen like closer like at the as I saw at the UPB.
Okay. All right.
But
All right.
for example at UPB, they are opening a new career, like a new degree. No, yeah,
Uh-huh.
career,
Uh-huh.
new
Okay.
majors.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, a
like
new major. And what's that about?
the name of the major is not just normally it's ingeniería ambiental. I don't know
Yeah,
if it's the same, right?
yeah. You can say environmental engineering, something like that.
But they have more. It's not just environmental engineering, it's environmental and alternative energies
Oh,
engineering.
wow, wow,
So they're
that's
gonna
great.
a lot about solar, like eolic, and all the ambiental, like environmental things. So it's a
Okay.
combination. It's really good because they need to know that.
Yes,
It's like
yes.
the petroleum engineering. Basically, they will run out of work because if the petroleum is out and is no more in the world, they have to change and they have to improve. So I see that's the next level.
Yeah,
The new energy
exactly.
career, new major.
Exactly. I was going to say that that's going to be the future of energy production, right? The ones that are interested in these fossil fuels, like, for example, petroleum, right? Are going to be like looking for something different because nowadays you're going to have factories, companies investing in these renewable energies because society is going to demand that. And if there is demand, right, and society, if society demands that, of course the enterprises and the companies have to change their ways of working, and they're going to start using these renewable energies that you're mentioning. So yeah, I see that that's the future, and that's a really interesting major that is going to be, I think, something that also other universities are going to have. I think that's a great idea. So Jaime, we're going to be finishing the conversation right now. I don't know if you have any more questions before finishing the conversation today.
No, it's okay. Like I like it, the conversation, and thanks for your patience and everything, Jose.
No, thank you, Jaime. So tomorrow we're going to continue with the class. As I told you, everything's going to be about conversations and practicing speaking. So try to think of the topic that you're going to choose for Monday. Okay?
Okay, excellent.
Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow, Jaime.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye bye. Hello, good evening, Andrea. Are you there?
Yes, hi, Jose Luis.
Hello, how are you? Is everything okay?
Everything is okay. Thank you.
That's great. So, look, today we're going to start with this new dynamic of conversations. Instead of reading something, you're going to listen to what I'm going to read for you, and you're going to tell me everything that you were able to understand. You're going to try to paraphrase and say everything in your own words. Okay?
Okay.
Great. Let's begin. This is a topic related to something you do and you like, which is environment. And I think you're going to like this, and you're going to tell me if you are really into this idea, or perhaps you have other ways of seeing this problem or what's happening. So let me begin. This is the headline of the title. I'm going to read it for you. Why I'm feeling hopeful about the environment in 2021. All right, that's the headline. Now I'm going to read the first two paragraphs, and then you're going to tell me everything that you were able to understand. To do this, Andrea, you can take some notes if you want. You can write whatever, or yes, whatever you want and wherever you want in your computer, or you can use the chat here to take notes. It's up to you. So if you're ready, I'm going to begin.
Okay, I'm ready.
Great. This is the first paragraph. This year, 2021, a number of things are coming together to help achieve a low carbon future. In 25 years of reporting the environment patch, I've never been so convinced that the world has the potential to change. That's the first paragraph. The second paragraph. It's about politics. Recent bolder climate commitments from the UK, the EU, incoming American President Joe Biden, and even China. It's about business. For the first time ever, renewable energy investment will exceed that in fossil fuels. And it's about timing. A post-COVID recovery year running up to the global COP26 climate summit in November. Okay, so that's the end of that paragraph. Now, please, Andrea, before any questions or something that you can say about it, I would like to know what are the things that you were able to understand, and how can you explain this information in your own words, please?
It talks about that uh, uh, from this year, low, how do you say, emissions, low carbon
Mhm.
CO2 emissions
Okay, yes, yes,
are
correct.
gonna be reduced, and there is some hope for environmental issues.
Good. Uh-huh.
Like for example, Joe Biden uh, enter again to the, I don't remember how it calls, Protocolo de Paris Protocol, something like that.
Yes, it's okay. Paris Protocol. Uh-huh.
Uh, and it's the first year that renewable energies are gonna be more than fuel energies.
Perfect. That's correct. So let me copy and paste that part because actually that is the most important part, and you said it correctly. It says,
Okay.
right? And it's in the chat. For the first time ever, renewable energy investment will exceed that in fossil fuels. It means that companies, that factories, that many places are starting to see renewable energy as the best option instead of fossil fuels. And that's great, right? Because it's never been like that. Everybody's been into perhaps petroleum and some things like that because there's money there. But there's this change. And I want to know your opinion on that now, Andrea. What do you think about this kind of news? Do you think that this is going to help a lot? Do you think that this is just something that is not that important? What do you think?
Yes, I think that it's gonna help, but you have to be smart in the way you use renewable energies. For
Mhm.
example, like the uh, wind, how do you say wind
You
in
can say
Spanish?
wind energy or eolic energy, but wind energy is okay.
Okay. Eolic energy uh, ha, uh, needs like a lot of of space and have an impact in biodiversity too, and it doesn't produce too much energy. So you have to be smart in the way you invest in them.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying that if we're going to use renewable energy, we have to think of that carefully because not all of those types of energy are as efficient and they don't produce as much energy as perhaps the fossil fuels, right? Energy. So, for example, let's say that wind energy, which is correct, wind energy or eolic energy is the option. You're saying that this kind of energy doesn't produce as much energy as other ones, right? Which is the best one? Perhaps you have also solar energy, and you have, for example, I've been doing some research, and there are other kinds of energy, right? What is the one that you think that is the best option, perhaps, and
I think that is a combination of a lot of things. For example, solar energy is also a good uh, solution, alternative solution, but you have to think about what you're going to do after with the batteries, uh,
Okay.
because they have an impact too. So I think that the best way to to introduce these energies is like to do it by areas and not uh, ocupar. How do you say ocupar?
It
Cohabitar.
depends. What's the other idea? One more time, please. Give me the full idea.
Que es mejor hacerlo, implementar estas energías por áreas y no ocupar grandes espacios.
You can say only take there and not to take, right? Ground or spaces that you're not going to use. Okay,
Yes,
you can say
because
take.
at the long run, it can be more. I mean, you have to see what you're gonna do with those batteries. Obviously, it's better than fuel, but it also you have to manage the impact that they have.
All right, that's perfect, and that's really good to know. That's why I wanted to ask you all those things because we perhaps we don't have that much information about that, and perhaps even the people who are in charge of those kind of things, the ones who have the money, who sometimes are the politics, right? Or the politicians, they don't have the ideas, they don't have the knowledge about all those things, and they sometimes look for people who have the knowledge, but sometimes it's not the right people. So it's always good that there is someone there as an advisor, right? Telling them which is going to be the best way of investing that money instead of in fossil fuels. So let's continue, and perhaps we're going to see a little bit more about that article. And let's see one of the ideas or some of the ideas that they have. I'm going to continue. It says,
Okay.
but mostly it's about ideas, an eruption of climate change and solutions. Applied human intelligence is the vaccine against climate change. You're going to tell me something about that. I've been exploring 39 inspiring ideas, some already happening, some in development, and meeting the people behind the projects who each put a big grin on my face, right? And it says, here are five of the most intriguing. Now let's read. I'm only going to read the titles of those ones. It says, all right. The first one it says, robots driving a new wave of wind power. All right, that's the first one. The other one says climate friendly.
Sorry, Jose Luis, I lost the connection. Could you repeat the paragraph,
Okay,
please?
yes, of course. So they are saying, right, but mostly it's about ideas, an eruption of climate change solutions, applied human, and this is important, applied human intelligence is the vaccine against climate change. And it says then, I've been exploring 39 inspiring ideas, some already happening, some in development, and meeting the people behind the projects who each put in a big grin on my face. And I'm going to read just the headline of all those ideas. The first one is robots driving a new wave of wind power. All right. The other one is climate friendly rise. The other one is wood for good. The next one, grace the Arctic. All right. And the last one is like super solar. All right. Now, just by listening to all that, Andrea, what can you tell me, perhaps to finish this conversation, about the information that I read?
I don't really know about this project. I mean, I can have an idea by their names, but for example, Friendly Rice one was one of them.
One more time, please.
Friendly Rice
Yes,
one was one of the names you read.
that's correct. Friendly rice.
Friendly, I'm not sure what's that about.
All
For,
right. We can.
for good, I'm not sure either.
Okay. It says, for example, this is the one. It says, look, this is one climate friendly rice. This one, I just copied and pasted that in the paragraph, well, in the chat, sorry, as part of the paragraph. And it says, growing rice has a similar climate impact to flying, about 2 to 3% of global warming. Paddy fields are like giant marshlands emitting huge quantities of methane. All right, so I don't know if you knew about that fact that, about growing rice.
No, I haven't really thought about it. I mean, it can be because you have to float. Float is okay in that.
Yes, you have to float. Uh-huh.
You have to float the crops, so maybe because of that, the methane is emit, ¿cómo dirías?
You can say
Emitido,
emitted. Emitted. You
emitted. Okay.
Okay, okay, yes, that might be because actually, you look, my knowledge on this is very, very low. But by reading this, it's really interesting because I didn't really know about this either. It's kind of interesting because you really have things that are affecting the climate, right? The weather, the environment, and you don't really know what those things are. That's why perhaps it's really important, as you were saying, right? Doing some research and finding the best ways of using this renewable energy without affecting the environment. Because sometimes perhaps we think that we are choosing the best options, but we're still doing things that are affecting the environment. So it's going to be like the same. So it has to be like a really big change. And this is my last question to finish this because I have to go to the other conversation there. Very, very shortly, please. Do you see that, and do you think that Bolivia is going to have a huge change in this kind of energy too? Or do you think that Bolivia is going to take longer to go to this renewable energy?
Actually, the government, the Evo Morales government, was trying to do a lot of renewable energies because of like publicity and also because there was a plan until 2025, I think, to
Okay.
change the fuel energy to renewable energy. But I don't know with the current government it will continue because Bolivia doesn't need more energy that produce right now. So the only way
Okay.
to produce to make more projects is to export that energy.
Okay, okay, that's really interesting, actually, right? I mean, because of the population, perhaps because of the way and
Yes.
the type of country we are, right? We don't know, we don't need that much energy, and it's interesting that we have that a chance of exporting that. Okay, okay, Andres. So we're going to finish here now because I have to go to
Okay.
the other course, as I was telling you. Please, tomorrow we're going to continue with the class. Try to be there. I'm going to tell you some of the important things to prepare the oral presentation that is going to be on Monday. All right?
Okay. Okay, Jose Luis. See you
Thank you very
tomorrow.
much for being here. See you tomorrow. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.